Hey guys, welcome back to the Third Hour podcast where we talk about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the culture and real topics within it. My name is Mimi Bascom. I'm your host and I'm joined by a very special guest today, someone who I've been a fan of honestly for years. And so being with you in person, I'm like, this is surreal. This is Faith Davis. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing so well. I'm excited to talk to you about all the things. I want to hear about your mission, your experience on TikTok, but just tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Okay. So my name is Faith Davis. I am originally from Northern California, a very, very tiny town called Cotati. I am currently going to Utah Valley University. I'm hoping to be a midwife, fingers crossed.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yes. I'm so excited.
You better hurry and you can deliver my baby if you want. You have 3 months.
That would be a dream. Still have like 6 years to go.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of schooling.
9 years in total, 9 to 10 years. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
At that point, I'm like, I might as well be a doctor. But
yeah.
Midwife is the way to go for right now.
Cool. That's
yes.
So cool.
And I'm 24 years old. Yeah. I mean, I'm living in Provo.
Yay. And you recently moved to Provo, right?
Yes.
So I want to know, what has been the most surprising thing, moving to Utah from California?
Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking about this a lot, but I mean, the obvious for me, I mean, my temple back home is about 2.5 hours away from where I live.
Oh
and so I mean now it's like a 20 minute walk from my house, so
cool.
It's super nice, but at the same time I'm also used to just walking in and having like slots just be open for me that day, but now I have to schedule my temple appointments a month in advance. I'm like,
yeah, it gets crazy actually with the scheduling.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful that people are wanting to attend the temple. So I'm like, that's great. So glad that they're, heeding the prophet's words and the apostles and everything. But I just want to go to the temple. But it's good. It's really great, honestly. I think another thing that I was thinking about is the boundaries, where the words and stakes stop and start, because I live in the Provo First stake, and my friend who's 2 blocks away from me. She lives in the Provo 14th stake.
Oh my
gosh! What? But it's
so crazy.
Yeah, I'm there's a lot of people here.
There are.
So.
Oh my gosh. Is it been overwhelming, or what is it like now being surrounded by members? Is it how you expected it to be?
Honestly, that was a big reason why I moved here. It wasn't until after my mission did I realize how much I really craved being around like-minded people. I growing up, I was one of 5 members that went to my high school, and one of 2 in my graduating class. And it didn't really bother me at the time.
Yeah.
But when I was on the mission, I had just everybody who, we were all in the same kind of position, had around the same struggles, going through the same stuff. And I knew I could rely on these people. And it's not back home, I had really great friends, but they weren't of the same faith. And it wasn't they didn't really understand fully what I was going through.
Totally.
And so when I went home, it was a culture shock moment. And I just craved being around people that understood me.
Totally.
And so I was actually really excited to be here. I really missed it.
Good. Yeah. I'm so glad. I really I loved that too. When I moved here, I was 13 or 14. And it was so weird at first, just knowing okay, now being a non-member is the minority instead of being a member, and just kind of having that realization. But it really is so refreshing, especially being going to school and being in the same scenario, same situations as a lot of people. People just get it differently. So that's really cool. Okay, and tell us about your mission. Where did you serve?
Yes. I served in the Virginia Richmond mission, the mighty VRM. We love it. So yeah, it was the best experience of my life. I wanted for so long to serve a mission. So having having to finally to be on the mission was really surreal for me.
Yeah.
I had so many moments where I really saw God's hand in my life, and like I couldn't make it up. Like the things that happened to me, I can't make those things up.
That's so incredible to hear. And I remember I started following you even before your mission, and like seeing you post about like preparing for your mission and like getting your call and then leaving. It was so exciting to see all of that. And I want to hear more about like what got you into creating, because you create a lot of LDS content on TikTok. So what got you into that?
Actually, I was in 2020, I went through a really messy breakup, and COVID had just started, and I was
oh my gosh, that's rough.
I was a mess, to say the least. And but I don't know how I cope with things. Dark humor. That's how I usually cope with things. And I turned to TikTok mostly as a joke. I work in healthcare. I worked in healthcare at the time. So seeing all the death and the hardship during COVID was really hard. So TikTok was my outlet to receive that peace. I mean, it was peace, and then there wasn't peace, but like for the most part, it was peace. And I originally just started to post really stupid TikToks. Like I was posting, like I had a series called Rating LDS Temples, and I got through most of them. Yeah, that was a big series. Wow. It was more like just a funny thing. And then, I had ex-Mormons asking me why I would be in such an awful church. And so I decided to share my conversion story. And I talked about some of the, like how I left the church at 17 and I came back at 19, and, why I came back. And, I had a lot of people asking me about faith crises, asking about, what I went through, or how could they get through it as well. And it was like, people want to know about my experiences. People want to know about, like, at first I thought, the things I have to say are pretty insignificant, but I went from 5 followers to like 2,000 and over, like maybe a 2-month period.
Wow.
And it was remarkable, just how many people I could reach. And I just wanted to talk to people about their experiences, or, I wanted to educate people, because there's a lot of misunderstandings on TikTok. And I just want to educate, inspire, and even just laugh at the silly things that sometimes we as members of the church do. Yeah. So that was kind of what got me in. And then halfway through there, I was like, you know what? I really want to serve a mission. And then for the next 2 years, it was just my journey of serving a mission.
Oh my gosh. What has been like the best part and then like the hardest part of being an LDS creator?
If you asked me in the beginning, I would definitely say the hate comments. I mean, now it's kind of just, they roll off my back. Yeah. Because they're just about the same thing. Like, have you read the CS letter? Yes, I have. I have read the CS letter. Thank you. And like, do you really know about the church's background? Did you know that your church hates you because you're Black? And I'm like, okay. So at this point, like, they just kind of, I don't care about them anymore.
You get to a point where it really is just like, okay, this again.
Literally. So I think the hardest part was actually, and it still is, hearing, unfortunately, like, other criticism, not just from ex-Mormons, but from even members of the church. I received a lot of people thinking, like, because of something that I said or something that I believed, that it was like, it wasn't right. And I'm like, I'm shooting to find, people that are lost, or trying to uplift people that need it. I'm not here to make everybody happy, but sometimes it is difficult just knowing like we're all on the same team. We're all just trying to make it back to Heavenly Father. But it was for a lot of people are like, I don't believe in that same thing, or, in regards to like tattoos or like LGBT community. It was like, people are like, I don't believe in that. I don't. And like, you're going to go to hell if you have a tattoo. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm gone then.
Literally. No, that's so real. It's so much worse when it comes from members.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get doctrine is one thing, but like if people are commenting on my stuff, why do you wear makeup? Like, God doesn't want you to be wearing jewelry. And I'm like, okay, like, why do you care, first of all? And then, like, what does this have to do with, like, my mission, what I'm doing? Like, you may not like my approach. You might not like that I apply my makeup while I'm talking about the gospel. Go find someone else. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to be for everybody. Yeah. But, like, why as members are we tearing each other down? I think it's silly, but.
Yeah, But
most of them are very kind. Yeah, like, that's a minority.
Yeah, I'm never. It's usually never a problem. In fact, it's usually the opposite. People are like, members of the church are like, I wish I had someone like that when I was growing up. I wish I had someone who cared about me like that. I wish, like, even people who left the church, like, if I had someone that cared about me like that, I probably would have stayed in the church. Oh. And I'm like that makes me sad that like that the culture or like the judgment was too much. And yeah, so that was, I mean, for me, that's the hardest part, but
totally. No, I get that. But I think that also goes to show like how much of an impact you are making, because like it's so sad and it's heartbreaking for that person. But thinking about all the people you're impacting now, like the youth who I know just like love you and love your approach, and like your content helps them so much. So it really is incredible to see what you're doing in the lives that you're touching.
Thank you.
No, what's the best part?
Oh my goodness. I have so many amazing things. Like it's the people that leave comments like that. Like I had someone who said, like, you were the reason I went to Baptist seminary. You were the reason that I'm going on a mission right now. Like, and I cry every single time. I'm like, it's crazy how just being kind or just being yourself can just change. Because in the beginning, like I said in the beginning, I was like, my whole point was just to make myself feel better after getting broken up with. So, but here I am making other people feel better, and that really just strengthened me. After I started getting bigger, I went out here to Utah in 2021. And at the time I was preparing for a mission, hopefully, but I didn't know if I was actually going to be going on it because I had a lot of struggles getting on my mission. And I was on the brink of just, giving up on going on a mission. I was like, forget it. If Heavenly Father really wanted me to go on a mission,
it would be easier than this.
Yes, literally.
Yeah.
And I was out here, and I met Kai. I met Brianna, Ko. I met just all like Nephi. I met all these like big LDS content creators that, like, when I was a small little baby of a creator, I looked up to them so much. And like, I was fangirling the entire time. It was so embarrassing. But, these people who made a big impact on my life, like I was telling some of them about my struggles, and it wasn't like, I don't think they know this, but they're the reason I ended up going on a mission, like pushing through and being like, you know what, I'm just gonna go. It was Kai who said to me, you will serve a mission. And I was like, well, if I was gonna serve a mission, then it would have already happened. And he's like, if you want to serve a mission, you will serve a mission. And that just gave me the strength to just keep going. Oh. And so I wouldn't have served without their help. I would not have been the same person. So just being able to have that community around you is just so nice, being a content creator, because sometimes you feel alone, but you know that there's a lot of people in the same boat as you. So that's really nice.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. We've had Kai on the show and like other people, and it's like, it's literally so cool, because I feel like just to have other people who get it. Like same thing when we talk about living in Utah, but like being an LDS creator, it's very specific. And so it's nice to be able to talk to other people who get it. So that's great.
Yeah.
I want to ask you more too about your mission. And we have an advice segment on our show where we found this scenario on Reddit actually. And I read it. I was like, this would be perfect. So I want to get your take on it. Okay. So it says, I'm 17 male and I have some concerns about serving a mission. I think serving a mission will have a lot of benefits in my life and give me a chance to show others what I believe in. However, I'm concerned about being away from friends and family for so long. I feel like the dynamics and relationships I have in place will wither and change when I get back. I am also concerned about missing the end of my teenage years while serving. I feel like there are some very formative years. Does anyone have advice or relate?
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So I'm going to break that down. But I unfortunately, missing friends and family, I'm probably not the best one to like say that, because I moved to college right after, like less than a month after graduating college. And pretty much I've been on my own or, away from my family since then. Yeah. So, and then on my mission, and then after my mission, I'm here. I'm like, I spent maybe like a couple months with my family since graduating high school. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like in regards to my family, after I got home, like there was just a level of trust, a level of love that I had never actually seen my family give me before. After my mission, it was a pivotal moment for my family. I'm the only grandchild that served a mission. And out of my grandparents' children, like only two of their children served. And so like, I didn't have like none of my family, except for my uncle and my aunt, served a mission. So I didn't have a lot of guidance in regards to that. But when my family saw me come home, it was my mom who said, like, I saw Jesus Christ in you. Oh, and that's like
so beautiful.
Literally. And I don't think that would have happened. So my family's love and just increased for me, and it was beautiful to see. Yeah. What was the other part of
then it was about like missing the end of their teenage years.
Missing the end of their teenage years. Yeah. Okay. I was 22 when I served.
But still early 20s. Yes. Like people say the same thing.
But I don't know a lot of people who, like, at 18, I mean, the best you can do is vote. I mean, what are you missing? Truly. But I mean, I can understand what you mean. When I first decided I was going to serve a mission, I was thinking about the things that I was missing out on. People my age now, people my graduating class, they are starting their master's degree, and I'm not even finished with my bachelor's. I don't even know when I'm going to start that. So like I thought to myself, like, I'm going to be missing these valuable years. Like I'm curious, like, if putting my life on hold, like, to serve the Lord, is this really good? Because even my family, they were like, they even told me, they were like, you know what, maybe you need to just stay in school. Maybe serving a mission isn't for you. Just stay in school, just, but don't serve a mission. So I understand what it's like to think, man, you're losing these valuable years of your life. because I did too. The amount of the sacrifice that I made to serve the Lord doesn't compare to the blessings that I've received on my mission, off my mission, and will continue to, because the Lord loves his missionaries. That is a testimony that I have firm. And he loves his return missionaries even more. So I would pray to know if this is a sacrifice that the Lord wants you to make. There's so many different missions you can serve. You can serve a service mission. You can serve a performing mission. So you're not limited to just a proselyting mission. But I would ask the Lord what he would want you to do.
I love that. It's such great advice, and so true that sacrifice is worth it. If it's something the Lord is asking of you specifically, I think it's always going to be worth it to follow through. And another thing, they were talking about like how it's very formative years, like being in your late teens or early 20s. It's like, it's so true that those are formative years. Yeah. And for a lot of people, that's like when you're discovering who you are, what better place to do that than on a mission?
Literally, I couldn't agree more. I feel like the Lord shows you exactly who he created you to be on your mission. And like, I learned so much about myself on my mission. I learned a greater love for myself on my mission. Like, it's, I don't think I'll ever regret serving my mission ever. Like, a year and a half doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion. I know that I'm exactly where the Lord wants me to be, and like, I know he wanted me to be here for this time, and yeah, I have no regrets. And yeah,
I love that. No, thank you for sharing that. And I love that you said you developed like self-love on your mission. And that is so cool to hear. And I think that's exactly what God wants for his missionaries, to serve others and also to learn how to serve yourself and love yourself too. So absolutely, that is super cool. I hope prayers and love for this person. Hopefully they can come to a decision they feel confident about. Another thing that we wanted to talk to you about was, I just feel like it's such an interesting thing, like being an LDS creator, like we've talked about, and just seeing the kind of dynamics within members of our faith, but also members of other Christian faiths and people who aren't religious at all. And then I came across this on Reddit again. LDS Reddit is actually pops off. Like it's really good. Like they have good stuff on there.
Yes.
Not the like the ex-Mormon one, but there's one that's like LDS.
Yes.
And I just thought I would read this, and I kind of want to get your take on it. It says, more and more I'm seeing social media posts denouncing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as Christians. It seems to me that some people see it as a personal crusade to edge us out of the body of Christ. For a long time, it frustrated me as I saw other Christian faiths as a potential for fellowship, but I feel ostracized as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from the body of Christ. I'm left questioning if it's been a misguided desire and perhaps should resign myself to simply walking a lonely path that I know to be true. I'm considering simply coming to terms with the reality that we are different and there's no point in desiring a belonging with other Christians. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but a disappointment that I would certainly mourn for a time. So what do you think? Do you ever feel like left out amongst other Christians as a Latter-day Saint?
Yeah. I think there was actually one of my favorite companions that I was with. I went to her area in the Outer Banks, North Carolina, Currituck, Holy Land. We were teaching this man. I was 3 months. No, not 3 months. I think 3 or 4 months into my mission. I just got out of training. And we were teaching this man. He was a Christian. Can't remember his Methodist. That's what he was. He was a Methodist, and he would always call the church the Church of Latter-day Saints. And I don't know why. I know why. It irked me every time he said it. I was like, until I literally grabbed the phone and I was like, it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Sorry. What I mean, sir, is that you're forgetting Jesus Christ. We believe in Jesus Christ. You believe in Jesus Christ. We are not trying to remove your faith at all. We are just trying to expound upon the faith that you already have. And that is what differs, in my opinion. Well, in the grand scheme of things, at least how I see it, that's what, differentiates the Church of Jesus Christ, the Latter-day Saints, than just regular, than like any other Christian belief, because it's the truth. We are not trying to remove their faith or to change the Jesus that they know. We are trying to help them know more about Jesus Christ.
Totally.
And so we just have more understanding, and we want to help you understand that as well. So I'm like, sometimes I feel like when people are saying like, oh, there's the Christians, and then there's other religions, and then there's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, like the Mormons. Yeah. I'm like no, we are together.
Totally,
we are together. So I try to always help people understand that.
That's great. And I think that's exactly it. It's a lack of understanding. And a lot of people, like, it's to no fault of their own. They just don't know what we really believe. And I just think it's so interesting. And it is sad because I felt that way for sure. Like Christians and then Latter-day Saints are over here.
Yeah.
When in reality, I feel like we have so much more in common than we even realize. And if we actually came together, like, why are the fellow Christians or even fellow religious people against each other? Like, if I look at the negative comments I get, I would say, I mean, I haven't done the statistics. Like, I don't know for sure, but I would guess a majority of them are other Christians. And so it's just interesting when we probably have more in common than we think. And even with other religions, like my grandma's Buddhist, I know a lot of like people who don't believe in God, but like have other spirituality. Like if we all came together, because we could all unite in our mission of like, we want to be good people. Like we want to love each other and help each other. We have that in common. And then there's people who are just like anti-religion or whatever. Not that we even need this divide, but I'm just saying, like, why are we against each other at all when like religion is becoming so much less common and Christianity is becoming so much less common in the US? I think it's kind of sad. And I hope that, like, what do you think we can do to kind of unite us together more?
Oh my goodness. I feel like there'd be peace on earth.
Yeah, this is actually, this is an impossible question.
Like, has Jesus Christ come again? Or, but I feel like, okay. It really just takes a good understanding. I feel like we need to humble ourselves. That's the first step of the doctrine of Jesus Christ, is we have to humble ourselves to be able to have faith and repent, get baptized, have the gift of the Holy Ghost, and endure to the end.
I love that. It's step 0. Like, that's so good.
Yes. So it's like, if we humble ourselves, we actually like listen to what we actually each other has to say. I don't think we all have to agree on the same thing, but if we all just actually listened to what each other had to say, maybe listen to other beliefs. That's what I really loved about serving a mission, is like I went to a lot of different churches on my mission, a lot of different Christian faiths, and other religions, but it was so nice to be able to, like, as long as we went to our meetings, we could still go to like other churches. And like, it was so nice to be able to pick out, like, oh my goodness, like, I felt the Spirit when this person said this. Like, I know that this is true. And I'm like, that's because the Spirit always testifies of truth. Like, what this person is saying is true. And the Spirit will always testify of that. But we want to know more of the truth. We want to have the whole truth. And so I'm like, if we just had that level of understanding of like, love for each other and had that desire to actually learn, then I feel like it would change a lot of things.
Totally, because we can learn from other religions. Like, there is so much goodness and truth out there, and I think a lot of this may stem from us believing like we are the only true church ever. Which, I mean,
like,
we believe that we have the fullness of the gospel and we have the priesthood authority and all of that. But like, that doesn't mean there's nothing else out there.
There's like that every other church is wrong and that we can't actually learn from any other church. I'm like, I went to Catholic mass. I went to a Methodist church. I went to, I went to so many things. Yeah. And it was
which is so cool.
I loved it. Baptist pie party that they had with this like mingle and the spoken word. It was beautiful. Like we made so many connections as missionaries, and I felt like that was like a perfect setting to help learn from each other. And it was
I love that. So maybe we can do is like, instead of just always trying to push our faith, like, see what can I learn from this other person? Like, what is something about their faith that I admire and may want to adopt into my own practices or whatever. But I think there's a long way to go. But I really think in the end days, like, we're going to need each other. We need to all unite together through Jesus Christ. So that's beautiful. And thank you for sharing your experiences. That is so cool. Okay. Another thing, if we can get the TV to work, I want to watch some of your most popular TikToks, which I know I hate watching like my own stuff.
It's my voice that I'm like, I irk when I hear my voice going, but it's okay. I'm
my
good.
gosh. No, your voice is great. Everyone feels that way. But I think it's fun to kind of like give you a chance to respond to like some of the common questions or comments that you get and like talk about behind the scenes of your post. So let's get these pulled up. I'm so excited. I have a bunch saved. So this one is things I wish I knew before I started my mission.
Why did I like clip that? Oh my God.
Sometimes it doesn't work right when I try to get the thumbnail. So it's okay.
Thumbnail gets me going. Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Faith Davis, but for the last year and a half, I went by Sister Davis because I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the Virginia Richmond mission, which is the best mission so everyone else can sit down. Everyone says that. But seriously though, I wanted to start a series called Things I Wish I Knew Before I Started My Mission. In this series, I'm going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the amazing sides of serving a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm not going to hold anything back. So let's get into it. Number one, it was something that I struggled with. I know a lot of people didn't struggle with this, but I did. I sure did. And it took me about like 9 months to really get used to this. But I really struggled with the fact that I would have to get a new companion every 6 to 12 weeks. I just would get so close to them.
That's
crazy. It was hard for me to spend about only 6 to 12 weeks with them and then have them ripped out of my life. Because usually you wouldn't see them for a really long time because they would be sent to the other side of your mission. For a while, it was really, really difficult for me. It got to the point where I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to get close to people because I thought like if I was vulnerable with someone, then they would just leave me. What would be the point of that? But I came to realize how vulnerability is such an important aspect of a mission, of life, honestly. It wasn't about like 9 or 10 months until I read a scripture that made me realize something. This is in Matthew 26, where Jesus Christ is performing the atonement, which is, the sacrifice that he made when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he's praying, like taking upon himself the sins and pains of the world. And he asks his disciples, he's like, can you please come with me? Can you just be with me? He finds his disciples, his apostles, asleep while he's in the most pain that he's ever been. And he says to them, and he cometh unto his disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what? Can he not watch with me 1 hour? And he's just in pain. And that's when he leaves again, and he prays unto the Father, if this cup may not pass from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he comes again and they're asleep. Jesus Christ, being in the most pain that he's ever been, emotionally, physically, he just wanted his disciples, his apostles with him. He just wanted that support. And a mission, this is my hour that I will tarry with the Lord. that I will tarry with my friends, my companions, the members in my district and in my zones. This is my hour that I can be there, be vulnerable, and ask them for help so that they can ask me for help. And so I wish I knew that. I wish I knew from the beginning that I'm here for me to have peace and love from those around me, and for them to feel that they can come to me as well. So that's number one.
Oh my gosh. That was so good and insightful.
Yeah.
What, so you said at 9 or 10 months in your mission is the point where you kind of realized that?
Yeah, I was, wow. It was a lesson that I had to learn a difficult way. I had wonderful, wonderful companions for the majority of my mission, that it really stung when they either, left me to go train someone or left me to go home. I was like, I can't do this without you. Like, I've already told you my whole story in life. Like I don't want to do this again. I don't want to have to, tell them my favorite color again. Like, I've already gone through this.
Totally.
And it was hard. It was very hard to be vulnerable with people, but that was a lesson I learned. And I was like, goodness, I need to shape up. Because after I'd done that so many times, I was like, maybe I need to just, like I said, I was like, maybe I just need to stop. I need to stop opening up to people. I need to stop, because I'm like, they're just going to leave me again. They're just going to, but it was like, it hit me like a wall, a truck. I was like, you know what? It's going to be okay. And every time it was okay. Like, after I realized that, because I think I needed to realize that these people weren't going to just be in my life for 6 to 12 weeks. They're going to, these relationships that I made were eternal. Yeah. I swear that I met companions that I knew I met them in the premortal life. I know it. I know I did, because there's no way that we could have gotten that close in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it just was a familiarity. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, if we were close in the premortal, and we're close on in earth life, then we got to be close forever.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And I love the analogy that you pulled in with the Garden of Gethsemane and being vulnerable. It is hard, but I could totally see where you would want to go the other direction and be like, I'm just not going to be vulnerable or open with anyone. But so proud of you that you were able to continue to put yourself out there like that, because I can only imagine how hard that would be.
Yeah. So. Some people are like, it's fine. Like, I can get a new companion or whatever, but I would just get really attached to my people, and
totally.
It's good.
I love that, Kate. Let's go to part 2.
Welcome back. This is part 2 of things I wish I knew before I started my mission. Now, this is a hot take. There's a couple of these in this series, so just buckle up, all right? I'm going to title this one Trunky versus Tired, okay? When I was 14 months into my mission, I hit a wall. I was exhausted. Missions are exhausting. And anyone tells you otherwise, that it's all fun and roses the entire way, they're lying to you. I promise. Missions are hard. Missions are exhausting. And I think at 14 months, I felt like I just could not find rest, no matter how much sleep I got. And it was really hard for me, because I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody. I felt like everybody was just so jazzed about being on a mission, and I felt like I was crawling to the finish line. And before I get the Exmos and, haters coming flying into my comment section saying, this is why the church is toxic, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Because think about it. When you do the same thing, the same mundane thing over and over and over again, doesn't that get a little exhausting sometimes? It's anything we do in life. It's hard. Life is hard. Let's just move on. Let alone being 18 to 26-year-olds trying to share the gospel of Jesus Christ to people that don't want to hear it usually. I was passionate about this. I don't want to hear it. Anyways, random.
As you should be.
I got to the point that one day I just needed to talk to somebody. I needed someone to know what I was feeling. And I was crying to my district leader. But I worried that he would see me as trunky. Now, trunky is a term that people on a mission, they use to describe someone who is ready to be home. and they're not really motivated to do missionary work anymore, and they're just done being on a mission and they miss home. Now, which first off, everyone gets trunky. Everyone at some point of their mission gets trunky. It is a normal human thing. And don't feel bad about needing or taking a break. It is hard. Talk about it. Don't try to bottle things up and hide it away because you think everybody is not feeling the same way as you. The moment that I opened up and talked to my district leader, the moment that I started to actually feel like I could make it through it. Because literally when I told him what was going on, I said, what can I do? Like, what are you doing that I'm not doing? And he's like, well, when you find out, you tell me. Because I have no idea. I'm exhausted too. About 4 weeks before I returned home, I learned that it's okay to be excited about going home. Because the Lord, He wants you to be excited about the next step, the new adventures He's going to, put in your path. Of course, you need to still be a missionary. You need to still, be doing missionary work. But it's okay to be excited because life is so beautiful. Maybe a couple months before I ended my mission, I had a hard time imagining my future. I had a hard time around my head that I was going to finish my mission because I hadn't looked to my future. I didn't really trust the promised blessings that were going to be fulfilled. I needed to learn how to hope and trust in the Lord. Not just have faith in Him, believe Him. The whole quote that says, forget yourself and go to work, is toxic. Toxic. You don't need to forget yourself. You still have needs, and you can still fulfill those needs on your mission. Number 2. Honestly, that was number 3. 2 and 3. There was a lot in that one.
Yeah, let's dive in. I'm so curious. So, because I didn't serve a mission, so the phrase forget yourself and go to work, is that pretty common?
Yeah, that was something that President Hinckley had said. I guess his dad had wrote to him because he was like, I want to go home. I'm wasting your money out here. I want to go home. And he's like, his dad just sent him a letter and said, go forget yourself and go to work. And I think that is the only case where I'm like, you know what, that's okay.
Right.
Because he was thinking of himself and not actually thinking outwardly, about why he's on a mission.
Totally.
But some people take that too far and say, I know you're tired. I know you're struggling on your mission, but just forget yourself. Just go to work.
Yeah.
That's not what the saying is.
Right.
So yeah.
It's also don't run before you can walk or whatever.
Literally.
The Lord, if none of us were taking care of ourselves, we couldn't possibly serve anyone else. So
exactly.
Do you feel like on your mission you were able, did you have resources or that space to kind of take care of yourself when you needed to?
I had a lot of companions that were kind. I had lost my dad on my mission, so there was there was a lot of already added stress that was on me and sadness. So it was it was hard. But if you have good people around you, if you have those good companions that you can feel like are a safe space to talk about the things that you're going through. For me at the time, that was my district leader, because he was actually going to be coming home with me. And I was like, he's 18 months in. I'm however many, 12 months in or something like that, a little over that. But I was like, I can't, I'm so tired. And he's like, I know, me too. And that was the first time where I was like, holy crud, not everybody is feeling so jazzed and happy and all the time, because I felt like if I felt like this, then I was somehow not being a disciple of Christ, or I wasn't fully enjoying my mission. It was it's hard. It's hard.
Totally. And that even goes for living as a member of the church, post mission. I feel like it is so common to have find joy in the journey and look for the positive. And of course, we want to do that, but I think toxic positivity is a real thing, and it's normal to go through highs and lows. Life is a roller coaster, and even with your testimony, if your testimony isn't always here, it's that's a part of the journey and that's a part of life, and that's okay. And I think it's good that we're having conversations like this. We can acknowledge that, because I think it does help people feel a lot less alone when they're going through something like that.
Yes, there are a lot of ways that I was able to like get myself out of that funk. At 14 months, I was just so tired, but there were a few ways that helped me just to keep going.
Yeah.
To realize, to finish my mission with pride, and to know that I did serve the Lord. And it was nice when my mission president, like my exiting interview, he like grabbed my hands and he had like tears in his eyes. He's like, Sister Davis, I just need you to know that, I hold the keys for this mission. And so I know, like, the Lord has told me that he accepts your offering as a missionary. And I just sobbed, because like there were times on my mission that I was like, is the Lord proud of me? Is the Lord, does the Lord know, and just to know that like he accepts my imperfect offer. He knows I did my best.
Wow.
So, the Lord knows. He knows you.
He does. He knows our best effort, even if that looks different for every single person. Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm so happy that you got that experience. That's so incredible.
Powerful. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, there's just one more that I wanted to watch.
The next couple videos are for me and for me only. When I get back from a mission, I just have a few questions for myself. So if you're not me, get the heck out of here or stay. It doesn't matter.
We're staying.
Hey, that's me. Hey, babe. How are you? You're literally hot. You're literally glowing right now. Don't tell me that. Don't say that.
I know it.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
so like, just out of curiosity, like it doesn't matter, but did we meet our soulmate on the mission? It doesn't matter. I just
Don't tell me that.
I'm just curious. Probably not. Probably not, babe. There is a man that we're waiting for to shoot our shot, but like I don't.
Okay, wait. I have to pause. Is it like, so going into your mission, you hear stories of people meeting their soulmate on their mission. Was that something you were low key like?
Honestly, okay, if I'm being completely honest, like going into my mission, unfortunately, I had like a lot of, I had some bad experiences with dating that unfortunately, where I had men tell me that I wasn't, that I was crazy. I had a lot of men tell me that I was just nobody would want to be with me. So when I went on my mission, I was like, no, like I shouldn't put a man through that. But it was like I said, when you're on your mission, you see yourself in a completely different light. Yeah. And I was able to pull myself out of that. I was like, man, I'm hot, babe. I like, yeah, I'm a little crazy sometimes, but like, I know any man would be lucky to have a piece of me. So I'm like, literally, you know what? Like, the lucky man is just gonna, I mean, hopefully I met him on his mission. Well, in my mind, I was thinking, hopefully I met him on my mission, but I don't think so.
But you know what? You got something even better, which is that self-love. Like, yes, we love that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do we ever get used to the humidity? Because I hate the heat, so just curious. The first summer wasn't that bad. We considered living in Virginia. We did. And then we were like, no. Yeah, the second summer really took us down. So no, we barely made it.
Humidity is no joke.
I'm excited about them. So did you see them? Please tell me we did. Sit down. We saw fireflies. I wouldn't let you down like that. Of course we saw fireflies. They were beautiful. And they were just as magical as we thought.
Oh, I love.
Are we still wanting to be a nursing midwife? If not, what do we want to be? Like, what's our plan? That is still the plan. We haven't had any other thoughts or considerations for anything else. So nursing midwife all the way right now. Did anyone die while we were gone? We are currently fatherless.
Yes, we are.
So yeah, Dad died. That was really hard. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. But we've made it through. Nobody else died.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, hold on.
A lot of people moved away though. So it felt like they died.
Okay. Is there, like, do you want to speak? I'm so sorry for your loss, first of all. I appreciate the humor.
So like I said, I relate. It's the dark humor that gets me through these things.
Do you want to speak to that? Like your experience of losing a loved one on your mission?
Yeah, absolutely. I lost my dad. Oh my goodness. So many miracles led up to that. And just to like talk about a few, my dad, so I didn't have really a relationship for the last like the 2 years leading up to my mission. He didn't know I was preparing to serve a mission. My father was not a member of the church. In fact, he hated the church. So I knew, like, in my mind, I'm like, he would not approve of me going on a mission anyway. So like, why tell him? But when I moved home to prepare for a mission, when I was preparing for a mission, I like every time I would pass his exit on the freeway, I just had these, like, this big, like, these feelings to visit my dad. To visit my dad before I go on my mission. And I was like, for months, I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to. I don't really want to go through that right now. And it was literally the week before I was going to be set apart. I was like, fine, I'm going to go. I'm going to go see my dad. So I got in my mom's car and I drove to go see him. He was there. And when I told him, like, I was going to serve a mission, he was like, okay, I'm proud of you. Wow. And I was like, oh, Dad. You know, it was, he told me how much he loved me. We mended our relationship because it was stupid what happened, why we hadn't talked for 2 years, but he told me how much he loved me, how proud of me he was to serve a mission, and that he would write me. And I guess about a week later, he got COVID. And he was put on a ventilator shortly after that. And then when I was at the physical MTC, I was told that he was not doing well. That's when I found out that he was on a ventilator, not breathing on his own, 100% oxygen. And then my father's side of the family kept him on oxygen for another month. So less than a month into my mission, he passed away. And that was my first transfer.
My gosh.
I was like, God, like, why? I was like, I don't understand. But I received revelation. Like, God, like, I had spent 2 years trying to serve a mission, like, circumstances outside my control. And like, finally, when I decided to serve a mission, my dad dies. And I'm like, you know what? It was like revelation came to me that God knew when my dad was going to die, and he still called me to serve anyway. And I was like, man, I'm staying on my mission because I just worked so hard to get here. And, but I wanted to go home for his funeral. So I made that decision, and it was so rough, but the plan of salvation had never been more powerful to teach. It became so real. It was like, and throughout my mission, I was like thinking to myself, like, as I was teaching other people, I'm like, I know I felt my dad's presence, because as stubborn as he is, just like me, I knew that he wouldn't want to learn from anyone else besides his daughter about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I was like, this makes a lot of sense. But, you know, and after I got home, I was able to do his work. Well, have one of my friends do his work, and it was so powerful just being a part of that. Because I know, like, I don't know if my dad accepted the gospel, but I know he did once. So I know he could do it again. Oh my gosh. And so it's these thoughts, they're intense, but they're good. I still love him. I love him with everything in me.
That is so beautiful. And I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine how difficult that would be. But I love what you said about the plan of salvation, and just like, it's sometimes we don't have as strong of a testimony of a certain gospel principle until we truly experience a loss like that, or a different experience in our life. And I think, like, I'm so sorry again, I can't even imagine, but it's beautiful, like, to kind of be able to have that increased faith in that plan. And I have so much respect for you. Like, that's so wild. Yeah. And you're so strong, and I just love you. So
thank you. Like, I was thinking to myself, like, in the mission, like, if I had served when I wanted to originally back in 2020, I would have missed my dad. I wouldn't have been able to to see him again.
My gosh.
And so it's like, like God knew what was going to happen. So he called me to serve at that specific time. I leading up to my mission, like what I had to go through to serve, was ridiculous. Honestly, like during COVID, so many COVID delays I'd gone through in high school, like depression, anxiety, and so I had to get, psych evaluations done. And then about a year and a half into trying to serve, I meet with my stake president for the first time, and he tells me that there's a weight requirement to serve a mission. And I'm like, this would have been great to know a year and a half ago, but
literally, that's crazy.
But my bishop, he didn't even know there was a weight requirement. I was his first missionary that he ever sent out, so it was like a surprise to him. There was no doubt in his mind. I was working in healthcare. I was on my feet 8 to 10 hours a day. Like he was like, there was no doubt in my stake president's eyes or my bishop's eyes, but I had to physically prove that I could serve a mission. And so I literally quit my job, moved back home. I went to the gym 4 to 5 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day.
Oh
I got into weightlifting. It was intense. I had to prove that I could walk 6 to 9 miles every single day. And I could ride a bike. I think 5 to 8 miles a day. And it was like, it was the most pain I'd ever been in, like spiritually, mentally, physically. I'm like, I didn't even have to do that on my mission. Now thinking about it, I never actually rode a bike on my mission. Never walked that far on my mission, but I had to physically prove that. And I'm like,
wow.
And I'm like, this is ridiculous. But I still don't know why I had to go through all of that. But I know there was like, there's so many reasons why God made me wait to serve a mission.
Right.
But it was a hard time, but I don't regret any of it. So my mission was everything to me. So as hard as it was, I mean, TikTok saw it through the entire time. People are like, you got this. Like, they're like, you've been serving a mission this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you're right. But Kai's words really pushed me, I will serve a mission. And those direct words are in my patriarchal blessing. Yeah. And it's like, so I was like, I know God hears me. I know he knows me. I just need to keep going. I will serve a mission. It just took a little time.
Yeah. And his timing is like, he knows. And sometimes we are able to look back in hindsight and say, oh, that's why, and then sometimes there's things that we don't understand. We never will until we can talk to him again. But I'm so proud of you and your faith and your perseverance through. I can't even imagine like all of the hardship that you've experienced and overcome, but to have such a noble goal to serve a mission. You know what I mean? It's not you're like, I'm working this hard to like get rich and get famous. You're like, I just want to serve the Lord. And I think that's incredible, the sacrifice you made. So thank you. And thank you for all you're doing now. Seriously.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Just wrapping up, is there anything else that you wanted to leave with our audience?
Yeah, I mean, I know that serving a mission is the most noble work. It's amazing, flat out. I don't think I could ever say anything more to sum it up, but you don't have to have a mission tag to serve a mission. If you are bearing your testimony during sacrament meeting, if you are sharing your testimony over social media, if you are helping a friend, you are building the kingdom of God. And that's exactly what that's exactly what God wants from us. He doesn't want all of us to serve a mission. I mean, well, I guess he would want all of us to serve a mission, but he wants all of us to build the kingdom of God in whatever capacity that we can. Going to the temple, it's God's work, and he loves you. He loves you.
Thank you so much. This has been such a good conversation, and I really think it'll benefit our listeners. So where can people keep in touch with you?
If you have any questions or concerns, or if you want to watch my TikToks, my username on TikTok and Instagram is faith_707. So yes, that's how you get in contact with me. Or if you have any questions, or if you need a shoulder to cry on.
Oh, you're so sweet. And I can't wait to keep following along all your content. But thank you again for being here and for your time. And this truly was so much fun. It's fun chatting with you.
So good to see you. It's been my dream.
Oh my gosh, no, my dream. And thank you guys for watching.